So that's right folks, the weekly reset for Far Cry 6 just kicked in, and it actually comes in with some really awesome items and weapons that you're definitely going to want to get your hands on. Like this week's weapons are pretty much crazy, and of course there's also a weekly reset for some of the bases that we need to talk about, but not before the Spec Ops Map number 3 that has also just been added by Ubisoft. So let's talk about that and more in this video. So opening up the Insurgency mode for this week, you will notice that a bunch of bases have reset once more, this time around mostly around the Madrugada region right here in the center. And of course the final item reward is going to be this really awesome unique La Americana LMG that is also a toxic one, so we will talk about that in this video. But of course before you reach that point you have to kind of finish all of these objectives and open up that intel that will show you the final base location that also gives you these really awesome rewards. In the meantime, you will want to go ahead and check out Lola because there's some brand new updates in here for her too, including a brand new Spec Ops map and the third one added by Ubisoft called the Cocodrillo. It's a pretty interesting one, not gonna lie, but the objective is pretty much exactly the same as the previous ones, as in head over to the other side of the map, steal the PG-240X and try to bring it back without blowing yourself up to pieces. This is why you will definitely want to run a mix-up between the parkour and the prisoner's set. I've talked about this in yesterday's video. Just use the foot gear and the wrist from the parkour set to improve your speed, and also add those pants from the prisoner's set to increase your speed even more. And from this point on, what I did is I added this street surgeon vest simply because it gives you more heal capabilities. You'll have two instead of just one in case you need it. And also I added this really cool crocodile head that you get from the Diesel Daisy main quest in the main campaign that gives you a lot more protection to multiple types of damages. Eventually this quest will bring you to the main mansion over here where you kinda encounter a ton of crocodiles as well, and this map will also include a number of other beasts too, so if you want to not have trouble with them, I definitely suggest carrying something like this side gun right here and hold a bit of a toxic round over there, since that will almost instantly kill them. That is definitely a recommendation that I have, but otherwise there's plenty of shade spots in this map compared to the previous ones, making it super easy to just use the parkour set and kinda rush everything all the way almost to the end of the base. So definitely stick to the main roads over there, and once you're close to the exit you're gonna want to stay over here around this house because there's plenty of shade. You don't have to worry about the PG-240X overheating, and you can just take down enemies so easily. Unfortunately, once you finish the mission you don't get anything past the XP and the moneda like how it was with the previous Spec Ops missions that would also give you a pretty awesome clothing reward. I think that is entirely skipped for this week, but the black market vendor at Lola definitely more than makes up for that, because on top of these two really powerful weapons right here that we will check in just a little bit, you also get the breach and clear full item set right away. I really like the skin on it, but some of these perks, yeah, I was definitely disappointed in them, including like these two on the chest and the headpiece. They focus a little bit too much on gadgets. The legs and the wrists on the other hand can definitely be good, like the legs gives you a little bit more ammo reserve for your SMG. Meanwhile, yeah, the wrists give you a really cool takedown reload which refills weapon magazines after doing takedowns, which means this is a really good combo with something like the prisoner's scarf that will also make takedowns way easier, meaning you can run with a Rambo kind of build that would work really well with machete and also with regular weapons as you constantly refill the magazines. Nonetheless, what you will not be disappointed in are these two new Moneda weapons, the overclocked ones that were added for this week, including the Yarapunk side piece, which is a really awesome SMG, and of course a custom variant of the MGL6 grenade launcher that, yeah, pretty much is 4-star, and it comes with some really awesome bonuses in there too. So we're gonna start things off with the Yarapunk piece because I really like this one. I was expecting this to be a little bit weaker, but no, honestly it's one of the best weapons right now that you can use, and it's mainly carried by that huge rate of fire of 1200. But yeah, even the damage on it can be really good if you put some armor pierce on it, and especially so focus on hip fire. To help you with that, definitely go with the laser pointer Mark II right here in the mod section that will greatly reduce bullet spread when firing from the hip. And putting in just a few more in there fire will make this into an absolute beast. You don't even have to aim for it. As a matter of fact, I truly believe that this weapon is best played using hip firing mode. You don't even need to be super precise, just aim in the general direction of any enemy head and chances are you're going to completely obliterate it in just a few shots, simply because you have the rate of fire, you have the good accuracy, you have the great velocity, and you have that armor pierce and damage to help you with that. Now the second weapon, of course, is the custom MGL6 that also comes with a skin. It looks really awesome, by the way, and it pretty much removes all of the shortcomings from the regular MGL6, which unfortunately was only a 3-star, so you had limited mods capabilities. Not that you need it anyway, at least for the time being. Even some of the Mark II mods over there don't really do anything for your weapon damage or how you use your weapon, maybe with the exception of one of these reflex sights, or maybe if you put a laser pointer on it. But why would you even need an accuracy mod on a weapon that is already pretty accurate to begin with? It's still very powerful, just like its base variant. As a matter of fact, in terms of stats, they are literally exactly the same. The only difference outside of the skin is the fact that this is a 4-star and the MGL6 default one is only a 3-star, but that is pretty much it. So it's still more than capable of blowing up vehicles in no more than a couple of shots, and it's also still capable at taking down tanks, maybe even in one shot if you're especially putting on EMP grenades onto it. Now, of course, to afford all of this and to get the final weapon, the unique LMG that you only get for this week, you'll have to finish the remaining of the other objectives in the game, including these new enemy bases that have just been reset for this week. As I've said, for the most part you find them in the Madrugada region. So once you're done with all of these, with the control points, with the anti-aircraft systems, and with the FND base, you're going to open up the intel for the last boss and its location, which is going to be located right here on this side of the map. So super close to one of your main bases, which means you can immediately jump into one of these flying buggies, head over there and do that mission right away. And it's not too complicated either. It's just a regular FND base that you have to clear all enemies into, and maybe pay attention to some of the helicopters that might be spawning in the meantime. Once you're done with that, Insurgency mode for this week is pretty much finished, and you will get all of those sweet rewards in the meantime. This includes all of that XP, all of that moneda, and finally the La Americana LMG that comes with a really awesome skin on it. Its skin is definitely better than the LMG itself, even though I appreciate the fact that this is a very stable LMG. Like, it doesn't sway and it doesn't have too much recoil even if you shoot continuously with it. Its downside is the fact that it uses poisonous rounds, which means it's kinda useless against taking down enemies fast. Yes, it is good at poisoning them and other creatures, but for everything else it kind of falls back. Still, you unlock the skin, which is useful because you're probably gonna have to wait a long time before it comes back in some kind of event to take it, so you can carry it on a much better LMG. Otherwise, this is it for this week's update for the Insurgency mode. Totally let me know down below which one of these weapons you like the most, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.